Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Virgo August 2018 horoscope forecast. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing up is as far as August goes, the sun will be in Leo from the 1st until the 23rd. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, there could be a strong concentration of energy, attention, focus on solitude, seclusion, hidden adversaries, restrictions, limitations, those less fortunate than oneself, such as the impoverished, the oppressed, the homeless, the hungry, and even mental illness in some isolated cases, perhaps, and even self-undoing. Now, given this is Leo energy, this could be done with a lot of Leo pride, dignity, even ferocity, a very magnanimous and generous manner, perhaps extravagance, perhaps being generous of your time with those less fortunate, maybe spending extravagant amounts to help these people. As an example, this could be done with a lot of fortitude, courage, self-assuredness, and confidence. And it could also, in some cases, shine the light, so to speak, on a Leo hidden adversary. It could be a Leo sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply one that embodies Leo-like characteristics. So anyway, well, the next thing up is, as far as August goes, the sun will be in Virgo from the 23rd until the 31st. So the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, there could be a strong concentration of energy, focus, attention on the physical body, especially if this is actually the literal first house in one's natal chart. The outlook on life, first impressions, new beginnings, people prominent in your early childhood, perhaps, and appearance as well. And given that this is Virgo energy, this could be done being very punctilious with details in a very meticulous manner, working on the appearance in a very meticulous and exacting manner, perhaps, and very systematic and methodically, very organized. If this is about first impressions, this could be where you're very in terms of leaving that first impression, but one that is very perhaps scrupulous and one that's very attentive to details, meticulous with details. Also very critical, judgmental energy. So if you're dealing with people, say, from your early childhood, this is where you might be coming off, giving more of an impression, maybe very critical and judgmental, but also leaving an impression, perhaps being helpful, but not in an officious or unwanted manner. Anyway, the next thing up is there will be a partial solar eclipse in Leo on August 11th. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, in some cases, when you're talking about a partial solar eclipse, this is like a new moon, but it can be more powerful, more intense, and have perhaps a more protracted and sustained impact. Now, this could be, at this time, this could be about in some cases, a new Leo hidden adversary that might be, occur around this time. It could be a Leo sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply one that embodies Leo-like characteristics. Now, this could also be a new period, perhaps, of taking pride in your privacy and your solitude at this time. And given that we're talking about a partial solar eclipse, these things could lead to something that might be life-altering. It could be where you might, for another example, could be where you might show a new period of showing more generosity and more magnanimous energy toward those less fortunate, such as the impoverished, the oppressed, the homeless, and the hungry. And it could lead to some kind of life-altering connection, perhaps, and also maybe even getting some notoriety. Talk about Leo energy, it could be about a new period of notoriety and exposure for filmography or something else 12th house related, such as the metaphysical, which could include astrology. And anyway, those are some things to look at as far as this goes, and also expressing maybe creativity in solitude and seclusion at this time as well. It could be a very strong period for a new beginning as far as that goes. for you. So, and also maybe dealing with maybe some limitations and restrictions and dealing with it with more fortitude and courage, and it might lead to something very strong for you, maybe a strong, for example, strong new beginning later on. So, anyway. Well, the next thing up is there will be a full moon in Pisces on August 26th. So the seventh house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Virgo, well, Virgo might become simply tired, exasperated, full, perhaps of a deceptive, duplicitous, nebulous, even lethargic significant other. It could even be a grandmother at this time. Some cases, this could also be, when we're talking about the full moon, this could reflect unveilings and revelations. It could be an unveiling or revelation of a Pisces open adversary, a Pisces sun, moon, ascendant perhaps, or one that simply embodies Pisces characteristics. This could be a completion or culmination of a Pisces-like project you may have collaborated with on someone else. It could be something connected with chemistry, oceanography, something connected with the ocean. It could be something, it could be photography, something with the metaphysical, which includes astrology, spirituality, perhaps pharmaceutical work. And so anyway, also, too, this could reflect the ending or completion of maybe a court case that you went up against a Pisces sun, moon, or ascendant, or was something Pisces related, something that might have involved some kind of driving DUI case, or it could be something connected with some drugs or alcohol, perhaps, or something chemical related may come to a conclusion at this point as well. So anyway, or even a court case that where you really maybe weren't quite sure of all the details, that was somewhat nebulous and confounding, and you really didn't quite maybe understand why it even took place, but it may come to a conclusion at this time. So anyway. Well, anyway, next thing up is Mercury will be in Leo. It will be retrograde from the 1st until the 19th, and the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, during the retrograde period, there could be some strong review of perhaps extroversion and gregariousness in your private life with people that are prominent in your private life. It could be aunts and uncles. This could be a time, too, since we're talking about 12th house energy, you might be less loquacious than usual, but you might be more of a conversation dominator with those people that you know well in your private life, with your aunts and uncles, with an aunt and uncle perhaps. And it could be that, remember, this is the house of self-undoing, so remember that maybe bragging or boasting may lead to the self-undoing at this time. And could it be boasting about a clandestine affair, which might be to your detriment? I would be careful at this time if that could be the case. Now, also to remember that Mercury is also, I mean, it's not just about communication, it's also about siblings. This could be where Leo siblings might figure more prominently in your private life, and perhaps even in helping you with those less fortunate. They might be driving you figuratively crazy as well, considering this is the 12th house. They could be actual Leo sun, moon, ascendant people, or ones that simply embody Leo characteristics. Anyway, next thing up is Venus will be in Virgo. From August, as far as August goes, from the 1st until the 6th. So the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time for Virgo, this could be a time where you might really be more attractive, or at least attempt to be more attractive at this time. And it could be where you're dressing more meticulously and in even more of a neater fashion at this time, and dressed to the T, so to speak. And also, too, it could be more about enjoying, analyzing, scrutinizing, criticizing, maybe people that were prominent in your early childhood, or simply about this enjoyment can be seen on a first impression very readily. And also about putting value in punctuality, reliability, efficiency, organization, which again could be seen very outwardly and on a first impression as well. And also perhaps the making money It might be more. It might be where money might come into you a little bit more at this time than usual, and it might be. It might be kind of not because it's Virgo, maybe not a great amount, but this is where you might come into some at this time that you didn't maybe necessarily expect. And also, too, and it could be by doing something Virgo related, such as something with nutrition, cleaning, organization, something connected with health and fitness, or being of service to others. And if you are unattached, Virgo, this could be a time where maybe you might connect with a Virgo sun, moon, or ascendant, or one that embodies Virgo-like characteristics. It could be someone prominent from your early childhood, that which could be very instrumental in new beginnings. So, or it could just be simply be one that is prominent, figures strongly in new beginnings. So anyway, next thing up is, as far as August goes, Venus will be in Libra from the 6th until the 31st. So the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, this could be about generating income through something Libra related, such as art, beauty, law, arbitration. It could be a legal matter that you might be getting some money on some kind of lawsuit. And all this, and maybe getting this money might really increase how you feel about your own self-worth, and self-esteem. Also, too, this could be about the enjoyment of peace, harmony, tact, diplomacy, fairness, things being equitable, harmonious at that place where you generate income, and really and having a lot of perhaps valuing perhaps refinement, peace, harmony at that place you make money, and really spending balanced money in a balanced manner on possessions and resources. At this time, if you are unattached, Virgo, you might connect with like a Libra sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply one that embodies Libra-like characteristics, who might factor in strongly in your possessions, your self-esteem, self-worth, or it might simply be someone at the place where you make money at. So anyway, next thing up is, well, Mars will be in Aquarius as far as August goes from the 1st until the 13th. It will be retrograde, and the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time for Virgo, well, this could be a time for Virgo where the situation perhaps with people at the place of employment might be more contentious and acrimonious than usual. You might be getting angry over fellow employees, idiosyncratic, unusual, or bizarre behavior, or maybe people that are in your daily routine, or factor strongly maybe in your health. It could be people at a health and fitness club, for example. There might be some surgery on perhaps something Aquarius related on the shins perhaps, or ankles. Given that this is retrograde, this could be about going back to energy perhaps expended on something Aquarius like. It could be something work related, something connected with computers, electronics, innovation, electricity. Something could be astrology or astronomy, aerospace. So anyway, and also too, this could be about maybe fighting friends. Unfortunately, might be part of the daily routine at this time. There might be situations with them where they might be somewhat acrimonious and even combative. So, and also injecting a lot of selfless and humanitarian energy into the daily routine and into your service and place of employment perhaps. Anyway, next thing up is Mars will be in Capricorn as far as August goes from the 13th until the 31st. It will be retrograde from the 13th until the 28th, and the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time for Virgo, well, this could be a time for Virgo where there might be perhaps more arguments connected with children and lovers. It could be over responsibilities. It might be debates connected with government and politics. And also this may manifest perhaps in injecting a lot of disciplined, serious, regimented, consistent energy into hobbies and creative endeavors and lovers and children at this time. And also too, you might be, in some cases, given it's retrograde, you might be going back to maybe like a superficial interlude with a Capricorn sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply one that might embody Capricorn-like characteristics. It might be going back to a liaison you may have had with one at this time. So anyway, well, the next thing up is Jupiter will be in Scorpio, and the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Virgo, well, this could be about luck and fortune through maybe making a transformation, something third house related, such as something with your transportation, such as a vehicle. It could be rebuilding vehicles, maybe recycling. This could also be about going beyond the superficial and subterfuge in your matters in your neighborhood, perhaps with your neighbors and siblings and cousins, perhaps at this time. And also, too, really, as I've talked about previously, that Jupiter can be somewhat paradoxical. It is strongly benign and benevolent, but it could also have a tendency to enlarge and expand issues. This, in some cases, might expand and enlarge surreptitious, nefarious, mischievous, and even really sneaky behavior, perhaps manipulative behavior with perhaps neighbors, with siblings, cousins. It could be people that you know in your short journeys. And also, too, I mean, this is about perhaps having that really obtain a profound philosophy that and really connected with communications in general, and maybe tied into your early education, perhaps, and maybe even with siblings as well, such as maybe seeing many people as your brothers and sisters, and not just seen in a broader sense, for example, as opposed to just seeing your biological siblings as your siblings, if applicable. So anyway. Well, the next thing up is Saturn will be in Capricorn still, so the fifth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. It will be retrograde. This could be a time where you might be experiencing some limitations and restrictions connected with popularity, with children, with lovers at this time, with your enjoyment, which might be making you feel somewhat despondent and melancholy. This could be a period, too, where really even trying to find some kind of really enjoyment and fun might require you feel like it requires a very laborious and consistent effort. You might be taking care of a debilitated or sickly, perhaps lover or child at this time, or maybe somebody that you have a lot of fun, amusement, and enjoyment with. It could be something Capricorn related, such as something with the bones, the knees, or the joints, and this could be making you feel somewhat dejected at this time. Also, too, this could be the way this can manifest, perhaps, is about reviewing responsibilities and even fears that are fifth house related, such as maybe taking a gamble or a chance or doing something of a speculative nature. It could be matters pertaining to love, to children, and even to maybe your time for your own enjoyment and amusement. So, and also this could be a period, maybe given that this is retrograde, taking responsibility to maybe well past due debts, so to speak. And it could be some debts that may have been owed for some time. Maybe I'm saying gambling debts, perhaps. So, and in some cases, isolated, this might be where there might be some government restriction that you feel might be prohibiting your fun and enjoyment at this time. Anyway, next thing up is Uranus will be in Taurus. So the ninth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. This could be about a formulation of a new way to make money and generate income. Which might help you maybe pay for something ninth house related, such as publishing. It could be maybe traveling abroad, perhaps. This could be, too, at this time, the way this may manifest is perhaps unusual persistence and even obstinacy that might be shown in in-laws and grandchildren. And at this time as well, this could be maybe in some cases Taurus friendships or friendships that embody Taurus-like characteristics, ones that might be very persistent, loyal, and steadfast, might factor in stronger to your philosophy and at this time than usual, and maybe even more prominently in matters connected with publishing or higher education at this time, or even traveling abroad. And really, another thing that the way this could manifest perhaps is doing something college related, taking maybe a Uranus-like course at a college or university. You might be interested in doing something with aerospace, electronics, computers, astrology, astronomy, perhaps something, maybe doing work as an electrician, something that could be Uranus related. So anyway. Well, the next thing up is Neptune will be in Pisces, so the seventh house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time for Virgo. In some cases, this could be about the dissipation or dissolving of relationships in general in partnership matters. I have this placement natally, actually. I have Neptune in my seventh house in my natal chart. And I've constantly had relationships that have been dissipated and dissolving. It's really been a constant thing for me, sadly. This could be a time, too, where you might have some difficulty in really judging as far as the character composition of others, so to speak, and others in general might seem nebulous and unclear. You might, unfortunately, be attracting a number of people that are involved in recreational drugs or alcohol at this time. Open adversaries might even be unclear and nebulous at this time. And also on the positive side, this could perhaps manifest in public speaking on the metaphysical, which could include astrology at this time. Now, also legal matters, there might be things where you really need to be careful if you're looking at legal documents at this time to read the fine print, because wherever Neptune is in a chart could show, where we really are not really that discerning as far as the details are, and we really don't always see everything connected with. So I think it's imperative to make sure you're really looking at the fine print in seventh house matters at this time, and that could include things of a legal nature. So and also too, it could be a time where you might be forming like a Neptune-like business connection. It could be something of course, Neptune related. It could be something connected with the metaphysical, which includes astrology, a spiritual connection, something with chemistry, photography, special effects, filmography, something that could be Neptune related. So anyway, excuse me a second, people. Well, sorry about that. Next thing up is Pluto will still be in Capricorn, so the fifth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, for Virgo, well, I know a lot of you don't want me to say the dreaded D word, but I'm going to anyway. In some cases, this could be about an actual literal death of a child. It could be of a romantic partner at this time. You might feel that maybe at this time as well, where maybe your fun and enjoyment might feel like it's been obliterated or destroyed. Sadly, I have another placement I have in my natal chart. I have Pluto in my fifth house. Someone said to me, one time, "Hey, Eddie, you don't know how to have fun, do you?" Well, if I could have answered him astrologically, I could have, but he really wasn't into it, so hey. But anyway, another thing is that this could be about power struggles with children at this time, with lovers perhaps. It could be too where you might be expressing some obsessive compulsive issues, maybe like compulsive gambling, unfortunately, things of a speculative nature, or you might show fixation issues, maybe with the lover or with the child at this time, or maybe with something that you truly enjoy, some kind of thing of amusement at this time. And this could really in some cases show domineering attitudes toward in love matters of the heart and with children, or maybe it might be the other way around. Those people might be showing that toward you, and really guard against manipulation as far as children and lovers go at this time. And it could be that you feel like your popularity might be going down or might be destroyed. But remember, when we're talking about Pluto, again, it's the planet connected with regeneration and rebirth. It could destroy, but it could supplant you with something else later on. So if something is destroyed with Pluto, it could very well be replaced and supplanted at a later point in time. Now, anyway, The North Node will still be in Leo, so the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time for Virgo. Now, this could be a time when you're talking about the North Node in transit. This could be about issues that one may have to address and confront. This could be perhaps about confronting perhaps an arrogant, domineering, bombastic, overbearing aunt or uncle, someone prominent in your private life. This could be in some isolated cases. This could be about dealing with some kind of mental illness, like such as delusions of grandeur, grandiose delusions, something Leo related at this time. But it could also be about taking pride, being directed towards showing pride and really in being showing generosity for those that are less fortunate than yourself, such as the homeless, the impoverished, the oppressed, and the hungry, and taking dignity and pride in your private life at this time. It could be about being more extroverted and gregarious with those people that you know in the private life, or something 12th house related, such as with people you may know that are connected with the metaphysical, such as astrology. It could be about dealing with being directed towards showing courage and fortitude to weed out hidden adversaries at this time. And maybe it might be also about having to maybe be a little bit more extravagant, so to speak, in terms of, or I should say, really being more generous of your time, maybe dealing with limitations and restrictions, showing courage and fortitude and trying to deal with them, and also understanding that extravagance might lead to self-undoing. So anyway, the next thing up is the Black Moon Lilith will be in Capricorn as far as August goes, from the 1st until the 6th. So the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time for Virgo. Well, at this point in time, this could be, I mean, when you're talking about the Black Moon, Lilith, this could be about a formidable adversary that can emerge. It could be a Capricorn Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply one that embodies Capricorn-like characteristics. It could be somebody that you might share a creative hobby or some kind of hobby with. Maybe this could be a child in some cases. It could be a lover. It could be a romantic partner. And when the Black Moon Lilith also could be about what could put one in a strong state of fright or trepidation. This could be about relinquishing authority, perhaps, over a child or a lover, or maybe even that authority, so to speak, over that time for your fun, amusement, and enjoyment. And also, this could be a time where somebody might be unveiling or revealing some kind of ruthless, tyrannical, cold, callous, undemonstrative qualities. It could be somebody that maybe you share some hobby with, somebody that you might, know in some kind of gambling or was something of a speculative nature. It could be a child or a lover, perhaps. And also, too, when we're talking about the Black Moon Lilith, this could also be about what you really, what it might come out, what you don't want to come out of the bag, so to speak, but winds up coming out anyway. And this could be over maybe a very restricting or depressing love life at this time, or it could be some kind of consistent a gambling situation or gambling problem that you might have at this time as well, that might be causing you some despondency and making you feel like very melancholy and sad at this time. So anyway, well, the next thing up is the Black Moon Lilith will be in Aquarius as far as August goes, from the 6th until the 31st. So the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So again, we're talking about the Black Moon Lilith. This could be about a formidable adversary that might be unveiled. It could be an Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply one that embodies Aquarius-like characteristics. It could be someone in your daily routine, your health life, your place of employment. It could be an aunt or an uncle in some cases. This could be a time where there might be somebody that might be exhibiting really negative Aquarius-like behavior, somebody that may be acting in a very unusual manner, bizarre, showing idiosyncratic behavior. It could be an aunt or an uncle, someone in your health life. It could be someone at your place of employment, or someone you may give service to of some kind. And also, too, I mean, looking at this, when you're talking about the black moon lilith, this could be about what could put one in a strong state of fear and trepidation. And this could be, in this particular case, maybe getting bogged down to a very maybe conventional or orthodox type of routine daily, something that would be overly consistent or regimented when you wouldn't have allowed to have your independence and freedom. And also, too, the black moon oath could be about what is something that you don't want out of the bag, so to speak, but comes out anyway. And this could be about maybe some kind of unusual health situation you may have that you don't want people to know about, or there's something maybe really maybe something about your work or employment life that you feel is very unorthodox or unusual and bizarre, and you don't want anybody to really find out about it, but maybe it does come out of the bag, so to speak. So anyway, or an unusual health situation or problem, I should say. No. So anyway, last but not least, Chiron will be in Aries. So the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Virgo, this could be about emotional wounds, perhaps connected maybe with suffering due to lack of initiative and enterprise in making a major change or transformation. It could be maybe not being able to show a lot of courage and fortitude in crisis situations, being overly passive, maybe not showing really a lot of initiative and, excuse me, could be over really not be maybe speaking up perhaps in matters connected with an inheritance perhaps, or something with over some. It really could be too, the way this could manifest, it could be about combative and contentious situations with a sexual partner, or someone you're in an intimate relationship with as well. And also maybe, I mean, when you're talking about this is like when Chiron and Aries, the way this works, that it could be to perhaps be about, I mean, unworthiness. And given that this is the 8th house, it could be about feelings maybe of unworthiness or inability to make a major transformation, being overly passive in crisis situations again. It could even be about sexual inadequacy or being unworthy of having a sexual partner or someone in an intimate relationship with. But remember that when you're talking about Chiron and Aries and the 8th house, okay, that you could be going through, I mean, the emotional suffering and difficulties with it, but you could help others out, perhaps dealing with comparable situations, and do so with a lot of Aries courage, fortitude, initiative, assertiveness, and aggressiveness. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Virgo August 2018 horoscope forecast. Stay tuned next time, where I'm going to be talking about astrology memories too. I did one previously some time ago about my my astrological memories, and I'm going to do, I guess you could say, like a part 2 of that. So anyway, 2 things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone. Because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.